Hey guys, Tina here, the Critical Virgo. Welcome back to another Fragrance Fridays. If you are new here, then welcome. Just so you know, timestamps everything down below. You want to fast forward to something, that's what they're there for. I hate it when other people don't do that. I really think it's a nice little courtesy because sometimes these videos can get a little bit long. I'll try to keep it short for you guys. So we're still working our way through this. Swiss Arabian, Sawalef Discovery set over here. To be honest, the fragrance that we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to botch up this name really bad. It's Kohl Al Ayoun, not really sure. Comes in one of the black boxes. Awesome packaging, as I always say. And this one is one of the black bottles on the inside. So it's a very interesting fragrance. I really struggled with this one. I've been wearing it about like 3 days a week since my last video, and I haven't sampled any of the other ones. I've really just been trying to figure this one out and spending a lot of time with it. Enjoying it, got a lot to say. I'll give you guys some general words to describe this scent, and then I'll just go into the notes as I normally do. So some general words I would pick would be, it's a very green fragrance. It's a fougere. It's playful, it's sophisticated, complex, and sweet. Best way to describe it. The notes on this, we got a top of blackcurrant, apple, and iris. We got a mid of agarwood, rose, and jasmine, and then a base of amber, musk, and sandalwood. So the reason why I struggled with this is because the first time I tried this out, my initial impression, the very first time, was positive, and then the second time I put it on, I started to notice something. In the opening specifically, that kind of, it didn't rub me the wrong way. It wasn't my favorite. And generally openings are my favorite, right? But this one, not so much. Oud, the agarwood, it's one of those polarizing ingredients. It's one of those things where we all have a different preference on strength and concentration. Just in general, you either love it or hate it. I love a good funky fragrance. Y'all know this, but I prefer my oud somewhere in the middle. And this one just leans a little too much to the funky side for me, but there's some redeeming quality. So I think that the agarwood mixed with the apple and like other musk just comes off a little animalic, a little too much, very pungent in the opening for me. But like I said, there's some better parts to this fragrance. Once this dries down, it really does settle down. It becomes a really beautiful scent. You just got to get past like the first half hour, right? And that was really the only thing that makes this a difficult review for me. Once this dries down, which happens fairly quickly. I usually put it on in the morning, and then I head into work, and by the time I go into work, which is a really short, like 15-20 minute drive, I'm good to go. Just note that. It's not too bad for too long, at least for me. But the things that I notice the most in this would have to be the blackcurrant, the amber, the agarwood, clearly, the jasmine, musk, like I said before, and the apple. I think the apple kind of turns it a little bit, like I said before, as far as making it like just a little pungent for me, a little tart. Maybe it makes it smell a little sour or a little off. I'm thinking more of like green apple. It's not like a juicy red apple, at least for me. But once this does dry down, the initial impression that I got the first time I wore it and every single time thereafter was this smells very fresh. Okay, even though we started off a little pungent, musky, funky, it actually turns into something really fresh and beautiful. And it reminds me of laundry detergent in a weird way. The only laundry detergent that I can think of that comes to mind where it's just like really in your face would be Gain. So if you're a Gain fan, you'll probably like something along these lines. I really like the juiciness, that sweet juiciness that the blackcurrant brings. It's not cloying or overwhelming. It's just like a sweet, juicy vibe that hangs out from beginning to end, but it's very pleasant. I really enjoy that. Once the oud settles down, instead of it being offensive, and I hate to use the word offensive because I know we have like some diehard oud fans, it really creates a beautiful, deep, sensual scent, especially with how it mixes with that amber, the musk, and that sweetness from that blackcurrant really wraps it all in. It's really nice. I cannot forget about the jasmine. It does not disappoint in the scent. It does stand out. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier that it stands out to me, but it does stand out. It really adds another level of like a really nice musky floral component to it. It plays perfectly with the other notes in here. I mean, this thing is just really beautifully blended. Rose, you guys know this is one of my favorite notes. I didn't really get a whole lot of it. I don't miss it in this. I have enough floral in this to like keep me happy, because I do love like floriental fragrances. I generally tend to gravitate toward things like that. And I want to just address this because every time I mention that there's iris in a fragrance, I get comments, and I'm not complaining, questions really, especially from men asking about how dominant it is. And I don't get a very heavy, powdery vibe from this fragrance. However, I just have to say this as a disclaimer. I'm a huge proponent of the whole, you know, fragrance is all unisex deal. This one does lean a little feminine, so use that information how you will. I can see some guys wearing this, but I think more women would really gravitate toward this type of fragrance. Not too powdery, so that's just a note on the iris front. For projection and longevity, this fragrance doesn't disappoint. It really wears like a lot of the other fragrances from this house, and it's outstanding. I am a little fragrance bum. I actually got a compliment now that we're all going back to the office, and I mean, I don't know what state you're in. I'm in Florida. Everybody's like maskless, so we can smell each other again, right? So now we really got to be, you know, aware of how we smell. Make sure you take a shower, make sure you don't put on too much perfume. Things are kind of getting back to normal, right? So I actually got a compliment for the first time in like, oh my gosh, I think it's been over a year, and it felt really good. It felt really good. Someone asked me what I was wearing. I had stopped by someone's house on the way into work. So definitely this one, your little fragrance projection bomb. Longevity does not disappoint. I have very hydrated skin. I drink a lot of water. I make sure I put lotion on after I shower, before bed. I'm telling you, I can put this on in the morning, and I can still smell this on my skin the next day when I'm hopping into the shower. So if you like good, hearty, strong fragrance, this is it. This is it. For versatility. All right, so this one, I feel like a broken record when I say this. It is very versatile. You just gotta be aware of how much you're spraying for the situation you're in, right? So spray accordingly. If you're going into the office, don't do 16 sprays like I do sometimes, or unless if you know you have a really long drive in and you can afford to have some extra time to air out, okay? Going to a job interview, probably not the best choice, but if this was your only fragrance that you could pull from, maybe just one spray would do you good. Date night, this is perfect. Cold weather, perfect. It's beautiful in the summer. It's just a great all-around fragrance to have. So I really like this one. This one's gonna make picking my top 3 difficult. The only thing that might make it a little bit easier is the opening, but like I said, once you get past that, love this fragrance, okay? Pricing. So I mentioned in my last video how excited I was about some of the changes. They do have the velvet pouch option on this one. So there's an 80 ml velvet pouch option for $119.99. And then we got the full retail display for $169.99, which is a little tougher to swallow. But you know, if you really like it and all the packaging and all that jazz, then go for it. The bottle that I have, this is a little sample. These are 3 ml samples, and these run for $3.99. They do have this whole set too. So I will put some information on pricing and links for all that stuff down below. If you have any questions, you know where to put them. Love hearing from you guys. Till next Friday. Bye.